Hello everybody. So today I am going in for a sonohystogram with my OB. She recommended that we do this before we move forward with any additional medication or any other procedures. Basically what a sonohystogram does, it's basically an ultrasound of my uterus, just to make sure that everything's okay, to make sure that I don't have any scarring, any polyps, any fibroids, I think that's what they're called, but just making sure that everything is okay down there, because if it's not, then taking medication and all of that is basically like going to waste because it's not helping me anyways. Maybe the problem that I'm having is the implantation, so that's what the sonohystogram is hopefully gonna tell us. Crossing my fingers that everything's okay, but if there is something wrong, at least we know and we can address that so that my husband and I can really try focusing more on the ways to help us to be able to conceive. But I'm gonna go in and go through the procedure, and we'll see how it goes and how it turns out. So I just got done with my sonohystogram, and boy, that was painful. The ultrasound tech, she kind of warned me that it was going to be painful, especially for women who have not had a baby yet. I would experience some painful cramp-like symptoms, and I thought I could handle it, so I was like, okay, yeah, it'll be okay. But when I actually had the sonohystogram done, oh my gosh, it was so painful. So just a fair warning to any of you who are needing to go through the procedure. I'm going to over exaggerate and say that it hurts really, really bad. It's like a really, really bad cramp. And the doctor, she said that childbirth is actually less painful than that was, which I'm like, I don't know. I've never had a baby yet. So it could be less painful or not, but it was really painful. And so kind of going through the ultrasound and everything, the uterus and everything looks normal for right now. But I found out that I have PCOS, so Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, which, I thought that I had gotten checked on that before, and what I was told was that I didn't have it. And kind of going through my ultrasound today and just doing further kind of procedure, they concluded that I do have PCOS. And I don't know, like, going through this, with our pregnancy journey and everything, like, I've never been able to tell or to know, like, if something is wrong with me or if something's wrong with my body. And if there is, like, great, we can fix it then, and for me, it's the hardest part has always been like not knowing if there's anything wrong with my body, because having nothing wrong with your body and still not being able to conceive is even worse than knowing that there is something wrong that like you can treat it with. But having heard that today that I have PCOS, like I thought that it would make me feel a little bit better knowing that we know what it is and we know how to treat it, but it doesn't make me feel like that. In fact, it makes me feel almost worse knowing that, like, I know that there's a lot of women out there who do have PCOS, and it's not unusual, but to my knowledge, this isn't something that is curable, and it does play into factors about trying to start a family and trying to get pregnant, and it's just an additional hurdle now that my husband and I are gonna have to go through. But I mean, I am grateful to know that it's something that I can get medication for to hopefully try to help my husband and I increase our chances of getting pregnant. But still, to know that that's something that I have, I just feel like I feel almost like a failure. Now I'm thinking that at least with it being unknown, that might have been better than actually knowing that there is something wrong. But either way, you know, we just haven't been able to get pregnant and stay pregnant. And when I asked about, you know, if I have PCOS, if it was just by chance that I was able to get pregnant last time, and they said it could have been just by chance. You know, one of my eggs may have been able to release. It could have been you know, like a false positive and all of that. But you know, I did go and get an ultrasound, and you know, they saw the egg in the lining, so it must have just been like a miracle that I had an egg release. But it's still a little heartbreaking, and I'm gonna get through this. My husband and I, we're gonna get through this, because I know that we were meant to be parents. And I'm finding out right now, you know, so hopefully that means I still have a few more years to try to have a family. So yeah, a little heartbroken, but you know, there's still some hope. There's still hope, so that's what I'm holding on to.